But let's get to the fun topic of the day, Rob, which is Lomachenko being the franchise champion, the second franchise champion in the WBC. The news was first broken by Lance Pugmire, I want to say it was yesterday around 2:14 p.m., hearing that WBC Boxing is going to elevate Vasyl Lomachenko to the lightweight franchise champion today. And then obviously later it did happen with Devin Haney being upgraded to the full champion. And Rob, I'm going to let you go for a bit because I really don't know your thoughts on this because we haven't really talked that much about this pre-show. I think everyone knows that I'm going to be trying to calm down my blood pressure as I talk about this topic because I'm very upset about it. But Rob, I want to get your take before I start ranting and raving. Rob, thoughts on...
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I was like, what? You know, we got all the spiel from Mauricio the last time when Canelo was given the, what is it? It's not a championship. It's not a bout.
Designation.
It's a designation. The honor, you know, from all this long, deep history within the WBC and blah, blah, blah. But didn't Loma just win a vacant bout in August? Is that deep history with the WBC? Has he had other WBC bouts?
I don't think so.
So, yeah, I mean, look, Devin Haney's out there. I'm sure deep down inside he didn't want it this way, but he's like, you know, the youngest world champion and whatever. And that's
really bad framing, Devin. That's what I'm pointing out. Same with Eddie. You guys could have framed it better. Just point it out.
Well, Eddie's been today saying things like, look, yes, Devin Haney he's now the WBC champion, but, you know, we didn't want it this way. We were actively trying. We wanted the Lomachenko fight. That was the instructions when Devin and his dad, you know, in meetings, we want to go down the WBC route. We want to face Lomachenko. And, yeah, the WBC have kind of taken that away from us. Now, I know today, or it was explained that he believes, you know, Eddie said that Lomachenko would, you know, the idea of a franchise champion is you take on the big challenges, you make the big fights. So is that fight still on the table? I'm not convinced at the moment. I can't see Devin Haney and Lomachenko's plans right now. But it's, yeah, I don't know. They haven't technically added another bout, but it now means the one that they did have, people don't necessarily value anymore, you know, in a way. These like Charlo and Haney, then it's not like they're actual world champions, if you get me. Sounds harsh on them. I mean, they've done nothing wrong in the situation, but people...
No, of course not.
Really looking at it as they're a world champion. They didn't beat the guy, you know?
Several points I will make. And Rob, can you do me a favor? Your video quality is really bad. Just refresh and jump back in and make it just so much easier. Sorry about that, Rob. You know how it happens. But as Rob is jumping back in and out, back already. Damn, Rob, that was fast. I was not expecting that. Hold on.
You know?
Damn, Johnny on the spot right there. He was ready to go.
Didn't want to miss your rant. Is that better?
It is a lot better. Thank you. Hold on one second. Sorry about this, guys. Live radio. Come on, why is it not working? There we go. Anyways, several points. To the point that you briefly brought up about it's not these fighters' faults. For example, Jamal Charlo with the same situation with Canelo. Of course, it's not their fault. I will say this, though. The way you initially react, I want to make that point very clear, and my words are very specific here. The initial reaction, because the initial reaction is the only thing that people remember, to be honest. If your initial reaction is to congratulate this news, if you're Eddie, Devin Haney, or even in Jamal Charlo's case, that will automatically sour this news even more so to the public. You are naturally in this story, in the narrative, speaking to Haney and to Jamal Charlo, you are the the working man fighting the corporation in a way, right? You're fighting the sanctioning body and they're pushing you down. To then, when they screw you over to say, oh, thanks for the championship, is a sign of sort of, for us as fans, that you are no longer that working man fighting the big man in the sanctioning bodies, which is what kind of the guy working his way up to a mandatory status is, in a sense. They have to be that. That's the way the narrative works. And again, when you have this obvious moment in your career where you can even up that tenfold in that narrative and really push it. If you're Jamal Charlo's case, push against the WBC and protecting Canelo. If you're Devin Haney, same exact case, sanctioning bodies protecting Lomachenko. Push that harder. Don't fall back and then say, "Oh, thanks for the belt, thanks for the world title," because we as fans and you as fighters know that's not a legit championship. So it just seems two-faced in a way when your build to this moment was they're hiding this guy, they're keeping him from us. We want to fight this guy, whoever that guy may be, in respective to a mandatory versus champion, right? Because it's the same narrative pretty much in every division and every sanction body. To then fold on that narrative, I think, is just a really bad PR move at the very least. Now, to the WBC's obvious misstep here at the very least, at the very worst, just pure sign of just greed at this point in time, which isn't shocking. If you're a sanctioned body, one of your mandates is to put on the best fights. Like, that's why you have the rankings. Like, you're the body that boxing has given the authority to put rankings and control the belts. When you then devalue your rankings and your belts even more and more as the years go on and on, how do we respect you in any way, shape, or form? Like, how do we value you in any way, shape, or form? Like, how can we look at the WBC, WBO, WBA, any of these sanctioned bodies that proliferated this splintered system that we have that has further hurt this sport? How can we ever look at you guys in the face and say, you guys are good for us, you guys are good for the sport? Mauricio Suleiman, whoever else is involved here. Like, you guys are the bad guys in this story. To be, just put it very black and white, very elementary level. Like, you guys are the bad guys in this narrative, in this story. And it is sad that so many media members are down there and very few, if any, are asking serious questions about this. And the ones that do ask questions, it's very, care to comment on this? It's a very open-ended question, allowing the subject to get away from any real responsibility. And if you're the sanctioned body, you have one of the highest responsibilities in the sport, along with athletic commissions, along with promoters. You have some of the highest responsibilities in this sport. Fucking do your job. Okay? Making this sport worse, making this sport more fragmented is not doing your job. So, Mauricio Suleiman, kindly and please fuck off. And the entire WBC and every single sanctioning body, again, fuck off. That's all I have to say about it, to be real honest. That this is an utter travesty, and there's going to be no ramifications for it at all.
No ramifications, no mandatories, no. There's just nothing. It's, I don't know. And for it to be Loma, see, Arthur in the chat said Loma has had only one WBC sanctioned fight. Now, the criteria of Canelo, again, it was this deep history with the WBC, and I guess he checks a box because with the Canelo thing, it was, Canelo's, different weight classes, and we know Loma's done his thing and possibly going back down. And it's talking about big fights, but what big fights really is Loma going to be a part of? Does the Tank fight get made? I think, I don't know. It seems way off to me.
I saw someone, I forget who it was. I know who it was. Oh my, it's Ellie fucking Seckback, man. Posted a video on his channel the other day. It was yesterday, right? Obviously, when the news came out that like Loma now franchise champion, easier to make Gervonta fight. And I was like, why would you even put out that video? Like, why? Like, why are you such a suck up to the rich and powerful? Honestly,
how is that even common sense?
it's not at all, and it's a pure PR spin on this bullshit franchise news of, oh, now the big fights are gonna happen. No, why? Why does this? I know that's what you're saying, but like that's what I'm adding to it. Like, why does this make any big fights more likely than they were before?
Does it make Lomachenko suddenly not contracted to ESPN? Does it? Do you know what I mean? What's changed?
I don't know. And again, media down there in Cancun, getting a vacation, do a better job, please.
I mean, all that's changed is Lomachenko doesn't have a bout anymore, and he's no longer the champion.
But here's the thing I don't understand. Like it. Again, like Mauricio Sulaiman's own words, like this isn't a new belt. We're not creating a new title, which is bullshit. Because materially, what you're doing is that in name. It may not be a literal physical franchise belt, but you are literally in name making franchise champion and a regular champion, a la what the WBA has done.
Yeah, it's the WBA super title.
You can say you're not making a real belt, but you materially in a real like world, maybe not in a physical sense we can hold on to, but from a effect standpoint, you are. For you to say this is just a designation, I can't believe he has the gumption to do that. Like I am just guys. Every time I think about this story, I get more frustrated, and I'm at a loss of words because we knew this was coming, obviously speaking, but man, this was just quick for Loma. Like I thought Wilder would be first because he's had obviously a long reign.
Who's next?
He's had a long reign with the WBC championship title, so like that would make sense. Gary Russell has had the belt for a while. Like there were other names I thought would make more sense because, like you said, Rob, they've been the WBC champion for years now. Mm-hmm. Loma has had one WBC title fight, and a month or two after that, he got named franchise champion. And Devin Haney is now in a position to be full champion, and everyone's acting like it's the best thing in the world. It just...
Yeah, August 31st, he won the title. And we're nearly October 31st, I guess, or whatever. We're at the end of October. This is... I don't know.
And Lunatic saying, adding, that's the thing, we were one fight away from Undisputed being in play. We were. And a similar vein to like middleweight. Like now middleweight's even harder to make Undisputed. Like again, like
what is the Undisputed fight? What is it? Does it involve the franchise champion?
No. No, because it's like lineal now. Like it doesn't. This is like an ethereal thing that doesn't really matter, but is there and gets sold as a promotional thing, and is used to like further make fights harder to make. I don't know.
Yeah,
because there's no mandatories for a franchise champion. If you beat a franchise champion, you don't become a franchise champion. You just get was it like a silver belt? I want to say or something like that.
A diamond, I think.
Oh, no. Diamond.
Yeah, which then apparently, if you are a diamond belt holder, you in special circumstances can be made mandatory to the franchise champion that doesn't have mandatories. I mean, it's just complete and utter nonsense, and it just leaves fans. You think trying to get new fans into the sport, and you're having to explain this shit. Forget the WBA and all that. You've now got this.
I'm close.
So this guy's got a special belt. No, he hasn't got a belt. He's the franchise. He's the designated or honored champion. So he's a champion. So if someone beats him, do they become that? No, he keeps it forever. Wait, what? I'll leave boxing. Thank you. I'll find another sport. How are you explaining this to a new person?
You
This is
don't. You don't
a
explain it.
joke.
You do,
Just watch the fights and hope that it's a really good one. Forget those shiny trinkets.
well, that's why like name value means more than a title. And I've said that for a while. And like you've kind of pushed back on that, Rob, but not really. But you kind of have. But I've always been in the mindset. Certain guys like Loma, like a belt means nothing to them because that's not what's used to sell them anymore as being a champion. They just got stripped of a belt and given to an undefeated prospect that hasn't been anyone that's in the top 10. That's an extreme devaluation of your title. Loma doesn't care, and the casual fans that watch boxing, they don't care. All they know is Loma, and they don't even know about this news probably,
I'm
right?
telling you, you're going to blink that, and the IBO are going to be the credible belt.
Stop. But to that point, we do have to get to a point in time where we as a community boycott this bullshit. Boycott the sanctioning bodies in some aspect. Now, what would be the replacement to that? I don't know.
I saw a tweet that explained it perfectly. They said,
"Oh no, Rob, you're smiling. I'm worried about what you're about to say."
Their idea was, "Fuck this WBC franchise bullshit. The PBC should just go and make their own belt." So I replied, "Can people not in the PBC fight for this belt?" He didn't reply, but I don't know. I mean, look, the whole Dana
first
White
off, promoters cannot make belts. It's against the Muhammad Ali Act. It's just like it's against the law. Like it's not about like against sanctioning body rules. It's against like congressional legislation. Sorry, Top Rank.
So Dana White's not going to come in and save boxing.
No,
and do his whole UFC model.
No. I've been, you know me, bro. Don't stop. But I've been of the mindset that an independent body of some sort, what that independent body would be made up of, whether it be journalists, media members, sort of like a similar to sanctioning bodies, councils like promoters, network execs, they could be in them too. But you would need some sort of oversight. You would need, again, maybe an amendment to like an Ali Act to like really detail a ranking body that's in a singular ranking body, a singular sanctioning body that would get rid of this nonsense. But again, you would need government oversight, and then you would need like the British Boxing Board of Control to also adapt it. And then even then, like what about Russia? What about France? What about South Africa? What about Brazil? Like what about Mexico? Like it's just
France.
Hey, Tony Oka, man, stop.
Oh yeah,
disrespect. He's off his drug suspension. Digressing though.
Also have its own governing body, but never mind.
What was that?
Which drug testing should also have its own governing thing. These are all nice ideas that we're just not going to get, right?
Well, it's not like we're going to get now, but the idea like we can never get them, I think, is not true. It just would take a lot of work.
True.
It would take a lot of years.
Who thought years ago we'd have a franchise champion?
Well, the example I always bring up that's more legitimate than that joke there, Rob. Like the NBA union took a decade to be recognized from when it was initially formed. You know, like things take a while when it comes to this type of seismic shift in the industry. But digressing from that point. WBC, fucking bullshit when it comes to this news.
Wouldn't we all think a whole lot more of Loma if he just said no thank you?
Absolutely.
I'd love to just defend my WBC belt.
Yes.
Against my mandatory challenger or...
Yep. Agreed.
But now he's a champion. I guess he gets more money. I mean, Devin Haney and things like that. I don't know. It's all a mess, and it's been all over my Twitter, and it's gradually.
If somebody's out there really thinking that because Devin Haney now is a full WBC champion, that he's automatically going to make more money in his next fight, it's just not true. Sorry, guys. That's not how it works.
But Eddie said it.
Awesome.